You, like this place that we want to be is to be out of control. And
so I'm having something coming to me because how I feel that my pineal gland works very well with getting raw concepts. I haven't got up with the communication, but my concepts are pretty right on from what I've experienced. I just don't always have the proper personal context. But the one thing from that video he was saying is that the only reason why you have a partner of any kind in any kind of relationship is because they know you better than you know yourself. And without them, he says they're worthless to you. And that's one thing he was based all of his stuff on, that sexual yogic practice of basically that. I mean, I can understand how this works energetically. That when you have one person sitting there, you know, totally focused on the other person and feeling what they're feeling and all this kind of stuff, and trying to mimic what they're feeling, and you have both people doing this, then you have all your energy channels opening, flowing body energy back and forth, and then at that time it's like, I mean, it's like you pour 2 cups of water into a bowl, all you see is water. So, and it's, I mean, that's the same thing as when you have the merging of those energies in that way. And he talked about, we mentioned this earlier, but that the energies that come into an experience, that there's the 2 archetypal energies as we separate them in our perceptive way of separating the masculine and the feminine from the totality of the moment. And that the masculine energy is the static, holding everything together, being present with each other. We are light, we are eternal, we are sitting here in this moment, we are present with each other. All of these static things relatively holding this moment together. And then there's the feminine aspects, the feminine energy, which is the changing energy, which is being responsive to every little thing that happens and every little thing that flows in this just beautiful cascading of water and life. And that it's the embodiment, from what I understood, of how if I was, you know, 75% masculine energy and 25% female, and my partner was 75% female energy and 25% male, that would equal to the whole 100% of both sides adding to the wholeness of the one in that moment. And that you have to play the roles according to you have to play these roles as you're doing the yogic practice of sexuality, because because when you're having sex in this experience, it's not 2 people, it's the universe acting through you. And the more you think about it in that way, the more that the energies flow, and that when you enter into these experiences, that you can actually get spiritual experiences, and not to mention that more pleasure and all of that other stuff that comes with it. That's great. But
good stuff, yeah.
I just...
And you know, when you're having that orgasmic moment, if you visualize something that you want to create, it's like, because that's the most creative moment to me. So that's a good thing to remember.
And one thing he was saying is that, you know, when you're sitting there, basically, he said something which was the universe talking directly to me. It was, you know, basically, you're afraid of penetrative energy. You're afraid of being intrusive on people and asserting yourself and maybe some from your past, but get over it, because the thing is, you are the one doing it, and that's your autonomy, and that's who you are, and you are not going to lose control, because you can't lose control, because that's who you are. So you never have to worry about hurting somebody. And that basically, he says, all right, now go out there and feel with your heart. Shoot your energy out there. Not forcefully, not like you're shooting a missile at them. I like to think of it as a puppy dog. When a puppy dog comes up to you, he's very persistent, very friendly, but he's not attacking you. He's not making you feel like, you know, like you need to do something to get out of the situation because it's uncomfortable.
There's no threat.
Yes. And because for one thing is, the puppy is in unconditional love. That puppy's going to be having a great time chewing on that stick or playing with you. It would, you know, it has fun being around you and it'll play with you if you're around over the stick, but it's going to be just as happy either way. And I think that's a great way to envision the way that you want to have this kind of loving energy, and especially for the masculine, because I was reading this from a masculine point of view, and I'm obviously a man, so I'm dealing with my own stuff, and the masculine energy, as he was saying, is you want to be persistent, because, I mean, it's that consistency, the eternal love of what the man needs to put into the experience, or the masculine, I should say, is that eternal love, because the love will always be there. You know, I mean, even in, this goes in a relationship and a sexual experience, and you could extrapolate this farther, but that the masculine energy is supposed to sit there when, no matter what's coming at them, whether somebody's just going crazy sexually, you know, on them and just like going crazy like they've never felt before, yelling at them, screaming them, attacking them, throwing dishes, you know, kids screaming. The divine masculine energy is that which just sits there and goes, I am light, you are light, we are love, I love you, it's all right, calm down. And that is the role of the divine masculine, where the divine feminine is supposed to be a total expression of the cosmos, just boiled down into one compote of a person. Just that the whole, this like ambassador of the universe is acting right in front of you, and that when this person is around, that they are the one, I mean, you could think about it as a universe-ometer. That they are a direct correlation of how you are interacting with the universe as a whole. And so as you interact in this relationship, and any relationship is how you're interacting to everything. And that most of the time when you give yourself a loving attraction, that is the universe, or your higher self, however you want to think about it, testing to see if you can recognize yourself and love in another person.
I just had an interesting realization as you were talking about the percentages. I think that part of the difficulty that people have in relationships is because everyone is trying to find a male-female counterpart of 50%. Like everybody is looking for someone who's perfectly balanced and wants to be perfectly balanced, rather than allowing for the connection of, let's say, 70% of the masculine to 30% of the feminine with someone who's the opposite of that, and have that. But ultimately, though, I think in our evolutionary process, we're becoming androgynous. And so it's about that male and female within that's really more important than anything.
Yeah,
having that in harmony and in balance.
I find that a lot of the connection in that way it has to do a lot with personal. So like I noticed recently that like I'm very masculine in many, many ways, but I recently lost all of my love for competition. I mean, it's like when I play sports, and I play a lot, I play hard, I play out, and I play the sport, full out sportsmanship. But competition and winning doesn't matter for me. But it is interesting what he said, is because he said masculine energy builds from competition. Feminine energy builds from praise. And I haven't quite digested that one yet, but...
Well, what I know is